Hello and welcome back. You're tuned into Revision Hub with Jazzy Joe. I am back with another video, and in this video we'll be continuing to look at crime and deviance, which is an AQA Sociology topic. So if you guys are ready to go, let's crack on. But before we crack on, let's do a quick recap on what we looked at in my previous video. So last video, we looked at why corporate crime is invisible. One of the reasons within why corporate crime is invisible could be the media. So I've given you a starting point there. So I want you on paper, flashcards, jot down what you remember from my last video. Obviously, you will know this if you've revised, rested, tested, and repeated yourself. I believe that doing this activity is helpful because it helps you to recall the information. And if you recall it now, when you go off in the exam and you're doing the paper, you have the paper in front of you, it will help you to recall the information at a much faster rate. So please do this activity before continuing on with the video. So let's look at the strain theory and corporate crime. We're going to be linking the strain theory to corporate crime. But before we begin, can you recall which sociologist did the strain theory? Pause and have a think. So the strain theory was done by sociologist Merton, where we looked at the means and the goals and the strain between the two. As a result, Merton called it the strain theory. So Box is a Marxist, which we guys came across in Family and Households. Box is a Marxist, and he applied Merton's strain theory to corporate crime. Box found that companies wanted to maximize their profit and minimize their risks, so they didn't care about the health and safety of those employees who were working for them. All they wanted was to maximize their profit and minimize the risk as much as they can. So, if they are unable to do this via legal means, due to the strain, as Merton looked at in terms of the strain between the goals and the means, if they're unable to do it through legal means, by all means they will do it through illegal means and they will try to break the law. Klinger and Jaeger did a documentary on corporate crime and found that all companies wanted to achieve the goals and they could go to any extent as possible. If they are unable, due to the strain, achieve those goals through legal means, they will take part in illegal activities and break the law just so they can maximize their profit and minimize this risk. And remember, this is a Marxist perspective because Box is a Marxist. So as you can see, it really ties in well with the Marxist theories that we've been looking at. Okay, let's look at another theory, which is the DAT, I call it, is the Differential Association Theory. Sunderland is another sociologist which we came across when we looked at the definitions of corporate crime, white-collar crime. Sunderland's theory argues that we can learn behavior from other people. Thus, it can be applied to corporate crime, and thus this can be applied to when we look at corporate crime. For example, if two students were fighting, the other student who was very well behaved and they saw that that behavior was acceptable, they would obviously learn from that behavior and change themselves too because it was seen to be acceptable within that school. So, for example, if a company commits corporate crime, all employees who are working for that company are instantly socialized into criminality because A, they're working for the company, and B, they're still taking part within corporate crime. So, if they are unable, again, this is the same theory as last slide, to do this by legal means due to the strain between the goals and the means, they will do it illegally and they do not care if they even have to break the law. Gies argues that if a newly joined employee joins a company that commits corporate crime, he is more likely to take part in corporate crime and illegal forms of crime in the future. So here we can use Gies to support Sunderland's theory. It's very important for you to jot down these examples because it's very important, because if you do the theory, it's good to put the example and link this example back to this theory. While you're actually doing this, it helps you to gain more marks within your exam because it shows you not only understanding the theory, but you're applying it to real life concepts and you're able to link it back to the theory. So this is the DAT, Differential Association Theory, in summary. And also, this can also be linked to deviant subcultures, which we've looked at, and Matza, where Matza looks at the techniques of neutralization, also known as the techniques of justification. I've done a video on this, so I've arranged them in playlists. So if you just search Matza or subcultures, something of that sort, you'll be able to find it within my channel. So let's look at the labeling theory. Merton is another sociologist, and he argues that businesses do not like to be labeled. This is known as delabeling. Delabeling, if you have to define it, it is simply that businesses just do not like to be labeled in any way or form. For example, businesses can afford to hire good lawyers that can defend them. That says defend. So what happens is that businesses have a lot of budget, and due to that budget, they are able to defend themselves from getting charged or going into prison because they have the money and they're able to hire or afford a good lawyer. Because they do not want to be labeled, because if they're labeled, their reputation is at stake. Milken argues that the criminal justice system delabels corporate crime, A, because they're not willing to investigate, and B, because there is such high cost associated with investigating corporate crime that they just do not want to bother. As a result, it causes businesses not to be labeled, and as a result, it causes businesses to have the same reputation that they have even when they have or when they haven't committed any form of corporate crime. Official statistics obviously support Nielsen's argument about how there is no investigation because of the costs. It's because if you look at the official statistics, if you go on the official statistics website, BSA or something of that sort, you'll be able to find that there's very limited official statistics that are provided on the topic of corporate crime. Next, we'll be looking at Marxism as a whole, and we're going to apply Box as well in the strain theory, which was also a Marxist perspective. So, Marxists argue that corporate crime is caused by capitalism, just so they can maximize their profit, minimize the risk, as we looked at. So again, we're coming back to Box, and Box argues that capitalism creates this mystification that there is something. What is that something? Pause, have a think, have a Google, have a discuss. So, simply, it is, so basically, let me just complete my sentence, is that Box argues that capitalism creates mystification that there is more working class crime than there is corporate crime that takes place. This creates a mystification, okay? So Box argues that laws, therefore, are put in place, and these sort of laws that are put in place actually support the ruling class. So corporate crime is made to seem lesser of a problem. Corporate crime seems as though it's invisible. So you can use this as well. You can just see here how this links in to my previous video. And also we can use Pierce, which is another sociologist that supports Box and found out the same and really said that, you know what, Box's theory is amazing because of X, Y, and Z. So you can use Pierce, like when you say Box argues this is further supported by Pierce. When you do this, you're getting marks for adding more sociologists that support that view. Evaluation is very important. As I keep on going on, it is the perk, the C in the perk, and this helps you to get more marks, because if you miss out on evaluation, so the C or criticism, it's very, very difficult for you to gain high marks within the top bands. So, Nielsen, this is a criticism negative, argues that not all businesses can afford to hire a good lawyer, despite their reputation is at stake, but businesses sometimes do not have the funding. The funding may be very, very limited. For example, if there is a new product in the market and they're willing to release it, but from those people who are actually giving money or giving budget, they will be like, no, despite it's only when this sort of thing sells over 3 million that we will give you budget. So if something like that happens, they are unable to hire like a good lawyer. So, and they don't really care about their reputation, all they care is like the money, but they don't really have that money to hire a good lawyer because they do not have that much budget. Okay, another criticism is that not all businesses want to commit corporate crime, as they want to maintain their reputation. Okay, now I want you to pause and have a think, as well as just talk to someone and have a think, what are the positive criticisms that you can see with theories that we've looked at? Box, strain theory, Marxism, the differential association theory, Nielsen. So I want you to pause, have a think, have a discuss. Okay, so you guys must have had a discuss. Are we willing to know what you guys came up with and as positive criticisms? So below is the comment section. Just down, if you scroll down, there'll be a comment section. Write down the time of the video and type in the positive criticisms that you think are associated with the theories. Because remember, criticisms are not only negative, can also be positive. And one of which could be that all the research that was conducted was not just theoretical, it was empirical. So this is one that I came up with. What other positive criticisms can you come up with? I would love to know. So jot down in the jot down in the comment section below. It's a criticism because this, okay? Thank you so much for doing that if you've done that. So what have we learned today? We've learned lots. We've learned about various different theories that are associated with the topic of corporate crime. Next video, you guys have to wait and watch to find out what I will be looking at. Till then, I really highly request you guys to revise, rest, test, and repeat yourself. The content, not in this video, but all the videos, because the examination does not only test you on one particular topic within the section, it's testing you on everything. Anything can come up. So it's very important for you to be confident on the subject area knowledge that you are sitting the exam for. I highly recommend you guys to use my videos because they're like summaries already made, so it saves you guys time from actually stuffing through the textbook and finding what is the important stuff and what is not. And again, I'm on Instagram, so please scan the name tag and follow me there. And do not forget to like my videos. Somewhere on the screen there will be a small smiley, so please do not forget to subscribe, because by you subscribing it helps me to make more videos. Please comment, as I asked you, can you comment at the bottom the positive criticisms? You can comment that in. You can comment anything positive, anything negative, any criticisms that you have about me or the way I do my videos. I would love to know that because it will help me to improve my videos for you guys in the future. And please do not forget to press the bell icon to never miss my video. Thank you so much for tuning in into Revision Hub with Jazzy J. Stay tuned, stay safe.